college and through the minors.
Yeah, sports was always a big part of my life. My dad was a coach, and so I got into sports at a really young age and just kept going with it. But my party, you know, it was just something that sports was just so a large part of my life. No matter if it was soccer, baseball, football, basketball, cross country, any type of sport, I was playing it. Junior lifeguards, I was in the water doing whatever it was. It never really stopped. And then after high school, I went to the University of California, Davis, and continued to play baseball. And it just so happened that I got a great education, and to go along with it, I played well enough to get drafted by the Giants and stick around for this. This is my 8th season, so I'm very blessed to be here right now.
And maybe you could just share a little bit about your Christian experience, your faith journey, and how you came to Christ.
Chapel has been a huge part of my life, and anybody that's been traveling, it's tough to have a continued faith through the people that are around you. You don't really know where you'll be on Sundays. Last week we were in Altoona, Pennsylvania. This week we're here in Richmond, and so you don't really know where you're going to be. And Chapel is a really cool program with minor league baseball and actually major leagues too. That each team has a chaplain that allows us to explore our faith. And in 2006, one of my roommates introduced me to it, and ever since I made the Lord my Savior, and it's been an unbelievable experience to walk through life with having the love of the Lord.
There's so many that have come to a relationship with Christ through the baseball chaplaincy program, and many aren't aware that the chaplaincy program goes all the way through the minors to the majors. Every Sunday morning there's a chapel service in the home stadium, in the home park, for both the visiting team and the home team, and the message of the gospel goes out. And this is a living testimony of the work that the chapel program does. So I would encourage you to keep all the chaplains, keep all the players in your prayers. I want to turn to the young man to my left, and I'd like to say that we go back a long way, but we actually go back about 35 minutes. We just met tonight. He was just called up from Single A, and this is Elliott Blair.
Thank you.
Just came out from the West, from the San Jose Giants. And Elliott, maybe you could just share a little bit about your background, where you're from, where you went to school.
Sure. So I'm Elliott Blair. I'm from a small town in Texas, around the Fort Worth area, Argyle, Texas. It's 3,000 people, so it's nice to get out of the small city and get to the big cities every now and then and play some baseball. But I've been with the Giants. This is my 4th season. I went to University of Oklahoma, and I have a brother and a sister. My brother plays professional baseball as well, so I guess you could say we were blessed with some baseball in our blood.
And maybe you could share just a little bit about how you came to Christ and your background. You shared with me earlier that you grew up in church, but it wasn't until a little bit later that you really came to a very close relationship with Christ.
Yeah, so I grew up pretty much in the heart of the Bible Belt. Small town. I grew up going to church from a very young age. I switched from a public school to a private school. It was a Christian-based curriculum, so I was kind of immersed in it every day. I don't remember the exact age or the day that I accepted Christ as my Savior, but I like to say it's somewhere in the 3rd grade. However, back then it was pretty much, I was immersed in that culture. I wasn't forced to make any decisions one way or the other regarding my faith until about my 8th or 9th grade year, when obviously your life is changing and you get into high school, you drive, you have to start making decisions. And so that's when I actually really remember putting Christ in the front of my life and actually making decisions and growing my relationship with Him.
Then you shared with me earlier that you had a unique experience in college, being able to be part of a church plant. Why don't you share a little bit about that experience?
So, without a doubt, the largest or the biggest event that has caused growth in my relationship with the Lord was when I was in college. I had the opportunity to start a church service for the college students at OU. One of my really good friends at the time, and still one of my good friends to this day, her dad was a pastor at a church in Tulsa, and he came to me and said, you know, I'm thinking about launching a college service down at OU, and we'd like you to be one that heads it up. And so, right from the get-go, I had never been involved in anything like that before in my life, and I was jumped headfirst into it. It was a great challenge, but at the same time, when you're expected to be the head of this college church service, being a college student myself, I have my peers coming to me, asking me questions about the Bible, and I always knew what I believed, but it's tough to put your beliefs into thoughts. If you've never done it before, it's a little tougher than it sounds. So that was one of the big things that I was confronted with and that I had to learn how to do. And the only way I was able to do that was to get in the Word every day and make sure that I was growing, and I needed a breakthrough really in my walk with the Lord. So I had to go as far as I'd ever gone before, plus more. So it was just spending extra time in the Word, making sure I was surrounding myself with great people, and I had a great support system. And so that's really the biggest thing to this point in my life that has caused me to just take off in my walk with the Lord.
You know, sports, or the success and failure is so apparent when it comes to sports, and even great hitters will fail 7 out of 10 times, right? A 300 hitter is considered a very, very good hitter. And I just want to turn back to you, Tyler, a little bit, and maybe you can just share about how your faith has influenced your ability to be able to handle both success and failure as a